handguns. Cop new clips, fresh out the box, chain swinging. That's just done in me. And you never catch us in the club unless the gun on me, front on me, flesh bone break up. Shots pop, the cops come falling. Floors get lit, doors get hit. All the ladies learn to dodge.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. We're going to be taking a look at a very affordable designer scent tonight. I think it's very important to mix these type of reviews in with the niche and even the more expensive designer reviews. Obviously, it's a tough economy out there. Not everyone can afford scents in the higher echelon. And you can see this year I have spent a lot more time on some more affordable fragrance. And you know, as much as everyone would like to have people believe that the economy has gone back to normal, people who know it is still rough out there. So, you know, it's been rough for me, to be honest with you. You know, I've been down to only buying, you know, about a fragrance a week. So now I'm trying to go back into my collection and review some stuff that's been there for a while that I have a great grasp on. Now, this one is a great buy, and it can work for you in the autumn and winter and certainly in the spring. It's called John Varvatos Vintage. I sort of wrote these Varvatos scents off because I heard that they were the most part weak and fleeting. But then a few reviewers kept saying how much they liked this one, John Varvatos Vintage. So I peeped it out at Sephora. I really liked it. Was a huge fan. Didn't want to pay Sephora prices for it. I figured I could probably get it discounted and pick it up that way. Now, some background information on the house of John Varvatos. In terms of fashion, Varvatos is a relatively newcomer to the world. He's a Greek-American designer who was born in Detroit, Michigan, grew up in Allen Park, went to Allen Park High School, eventually joined Polo Ralph Lauren in 1983, moved on to Calvin Klein. In 1990, went back to Ralph Lauren, where he became the head of menswear. Actually helped to launch the Polo Jeans company, which for a while was a pretty big piece of Polo. In 1999, Varvatos branched off into his own and started the John Varvatos Design House. The brand has ballooned quite a bit, includes belts, handbags, footwear, eyewear, collaborations with Converse. It's probably their most notable collaboration. They did a collaboration with Chrysler for a 300S. And Varvatos actually opened up a Soho boutique in 2000. He also has one at 315 Bowery where CBGB's used to be. Varvatos credits rock and roll as having heavily influenced the brand. And he has ad campaigns shot by the photographer Danny Clinch, which has featured artists like Iggy Pop, Alice Cooper, Green Day, The Roots, and Velvet Revolver. As far as the fragrance part of the Varvatos house goes, took a little bit of research to figure this all out, but they signed a license agreement with Zur International in 2004. Now, for those of you who might not know, Zur is primarily a men's skincare company. They do also do fragrances. They have a couple of decent ones. I think most decent are Corduroy and Icon. Zur is owned by Shiseido International, which is a Japanese hair care and makeup company, so things do get a little complicated. As far as the fragrances go, John Varvatos for Men was the first. It was released in 2004. Since then, they've released another 9 to 10 fragrances, including their first women's fragrance titled John Varvatos for Women in 2009. I believe their most recent was John Varvatos Oud, which I have not yet smelled. Vintage was released in 2006 by perfumer Rodrigo Flores Rue. Rue has done a good deal of fragrances, including fragrances for Dolce & Gabbana, Calvin Klein, and Tom Ford. He actually did Neroli Portofino for everyone that loves that scent. I'm not a huge fan of that one, but I do understand why people like it. And the notes on Vintage are top wormwood, basil, rhubarb, quince, fennel, and pepper. In the middle, you've got juniper berries, lavender, cinnamon, jasmine, orris root, and green leaves. Base notes are tonka bean, tobacco, suede, patchouli, oak moss, balsam fir, and woodsy notes. Now, as far as your presentation goes, it does come in like this dark brown flask that does look sort of like a vintage bottle. All the Varvatos men's fragrances come in these. Then it has this band around the side that I don't think is leather. It sort of has a snakeskin look, and it says John Varvatos Vintage. On the bottom, you have the sticker. On the back, nothing. It's kind of weird because it's hard to get this actually in the middle to really be even. I mean, you can mess around with it and get it close. Then you have a gold cap and a gold atomizer, and an atomizer that works fairly well. When I moved, I lost the box for this, but it's a pretty standard box. As I said, all the Varvatos fragrances come in this shape of a bottle. It's a fairly nice bottle. It's heavy. I think it looks great. I just wish the Varvatos vintage sort of piece would be easier to center. Now, I purchased this one on Amazon. It was $43 for a 4.2 ounce fragrance. That's a great deal. I believe it is eau de toilette concentration. It is eau de toilette concentration. Here's what immediately struck me. This smells nothing else like I have ever gotten my nose on. It's just sort of a litany of different aromas. You get some sweetness with the quince and rhubarb. There's some spiciness with the pepper and cinnamon and juniper. There's richness with the fennel and the tonka and the tobacco. And it just leaves you with this completely unique smell. I think that the name Vintage really works because they took the original Jean Varvatos men's scent and sort of made it into something that could have been released in the 70s or 80s by adding leather and tobacco. It is something that I could see Halston or Ralph Lauren putting out, so it's very true to its name. Vintage. As far as performance goes on this one, it's pretty good. I usually get 5 to 6 hours of projection, and then it does sort of become a skin scent up till about 8 hours when it dies down, but it does leave a nice little sillage bubble, and it does project fairly well. As far as when you could wear it, as I said, I think it's good for fall and winter. Spring works as well, and I think this is a great work scent. It definitely is conservative enough to work in the work environment, but I think it also would do great on dates, and I think it could work casually. While I do think this is a men's fragrance, I could see women wearing this as well if they like darker fragrances. If you were not able to get John Varvatos Vintage and you wanted something like this, I would say look at sort of old school scents. Look at Polo by Ralph Lauren, the green one. Look at the Halston line, Tom Ford Italian Cypress. They all sort of have these very high quality masculine feels to them. Tom Ford for men, I think their designer release would be another one that sort of is in the range of this fragrance. If someone was trying to get you to buy this one, I think they would tell you that for $43 you're getting a very unique composition and a very versatile composition, and there's no doubt here that this is a quality juice. The melange of notes really do come together to form something very unique and very different, and I think they'd say for $43 you're going to be hard pressed to get a better versatile scent, and one that could be looked at as signature worthy. I think if someone's trying to dissuade you from this one, I really think the only thing they could say is that, you know, you do have to kind of test this one to see if you like it, because I don't think it's going to float everyone's boat the same. I think it does have a sort of very particular and unique smell, so you kind of have to know that you like it before you buy a bottle, because it is a pretty large bottle. I do think it comes in 2.5 ounce bottles, but you're going to get the best deal at the 4.2 ounce size. So this is a very unique composition. I think it could as easily be a niche scent as a designer. You know, quality is the word that I'm trying to stress here. It smells very natural. I really enjoy this one, and I think this is a great starter scent for someone who's looking to upgrade their fragrance wardrobe to something a bit more serious than aquatics or gourmands. This to me is interesting enough to keep those who like unique fragrances pleased, but also sort of conservative enough, as I said, to pull off in an office setting. As far as when you can wear this fragrance, as I said, it's going to be very versatile to you. You don't have to worry about that here. And I very rarely say this, but I think that this is a high-end designer scent, and it's not too often that I look at a high-end scent, designer scent, and go, "Wow, this could be niche." They're few and far between. You guys know that. Like, I think Dior Homme could have been niche. I think Fahrenheit Absolute could have been niche. I think Ancre Noir basically is niche, and I think this one sort of has that niche feel. As far as giving this a rating, yeah, I'm going to go an 8 out of 10. And The smell is excellent. The presentation is nice. It's affordable, and it's pretty easy to get. The only reason I'm giving this an 8 out of 10, and not a 9 or a 10 out of 10, is because I think the performance could be a little bit better. I would like them to offer an eau de parfum concentration where the notes are concentrated just a little bit more, and you do get a little bit of a better performance. But it's very difficult for me to knock this one because of the price point and how unique it is. So if you have not yet checked John Varvatos Vintage out and you're a guy, I really recommend doing so. I think you might like it, and I think it might be a nice fragrance for your collection where you don't have to break the bank. So I hope you have enjoyed this review of John Varvatos Vintage. We'll be back next week with more videos. You guys know what it is. I'm Maximilian.
That's what happens with me, rolling around, fronting round my way.